What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Man, it is DPS podcast. What episode is this, Slow Mo, man? I'm already off. Is it 3? I think
It
this
is
three.
number 3. How do you? I mean, come on, man.
I think it's 3. I mean, hey, listen, man.
You got more than
Luca,
3 digits on your hand, right?
Listen, we are Luca's kids, and Luca can't remember anything when it
You
comes to
are
the number of
Luca's
her
kid.
podcasts.
You are Luca's kid. I don't know about that.
You actually bit the knee to her a couple of weeks ago.
What are you talking about? That never happened. You can be making stuff up and can't count the 3. It's wild out here.
Shoot, I don't think Xbox can count the 3 with the amount of systems they were giving people. Let's be for real right now.
Per store, you get 2. You get one Series S and you get one Series X. They can be display models. You can have people look at them. You can sell them, whatever you want, but that's all you get.
Look at Gregor. He said he's surprised that Forte spelled Bethesda right. Listen, bro. Listen. I'm not gonna act like I didn't make
it 3 times.
I'm gonna make sure. I'm not gonna act like I didn't go to the Xbox Wire to make sure that thing was spelled right before I put that in the thumbnail. Let's be for real here.
Gosh, wow.
Just gotta make sure, because people like Gregor be on the prowl. Got to make sure everything's right. Slow mo ain't gonna live it down.
No, absolutely. I'm gonna say what's up to the people in the chat real quick.
Go ahead, man.
Boom, we got Double Barrel Gaming. We got Boom. Boomstick is in the house. We got the Analog Circle podcast. What's up, Racer? As usual, what's up, bro? Steven S. We got Dr. Dr. Sarakis, who says, "How do you know Enrique is nearby? You can hear the sound of his flip-flops." Man, sir, before we went live, I had a good laugh on that one. I appreciate that. I did
too.
What's up, Salt Wagon, Sane Fox, Darkseya, and Alpha Will. Oh, also Juan Costello and I Dizzy. What's good, guys? I hope you guys were able to get the systems that you were looking for. If you weren't able to get it, don't freak out. Don't worry. Doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to get. It's not a guarantee that you won't be able to get one before launch. I'm fairly certain that both Sony and Microsoft are going to do another round of pre-orders with the way these things sold out so quickly and the way so many bots just gobble them all up. But again, did you do the actual like this is episode number 3 of the DPS podcast, right? Episode number 3, and this is the day after a historic moment in gaming, I would say, considering.
Absolutely. Well, absolutely, man. It's been crazy out here. Shout out to Double Bear Gary, Mr. Boomstick XL with the super sticker. I appreciate you, bro. It looks like my man got both systems too. Shout out to you. He got an X and an S. Boom be working in mysterious ways out here.
I wonder how he pulled that off.
He probably had to sell his soul to get both of them.
Oh man, I hope not, but
because I don't know how he
probably had to go to 2
off.
different locations. If he's still in the chat to let us know what he did. I'm thinking he went to one location and got an X, and then went to another location and got an S. Because
I don't know anybody that went to 2 different locations and got them unless they did one online and one in store. Because the in store ones, unless he got very lucky, the in store ones were like gone before the store even opened. Because I like all right, well we'll get into that. But Slow Mo, yeah, man, you talked about it, man. But before we get into that, man, we got to start our ritual, man. How was your weekend? What all did you do? What games you been playing? Tell me all that stuff first, man.
Okay, cool. Yeah, my weekend was pretty decent. Spent a lot of time with family, but also spent a lot of time with games. And the games I've been playing, I have been playing more Horizon Zero Dawn on PC. Is
it working now?
Oh, it works great now. It's
okay. Maybe I'll
play it. I'm not gonna say completely bug free, but it runs very smoothly on my gaming rig. I'm running it at 1440p, 75 frames per second. It's consistently 75 frames per second. It's pretty nice, and with ultra settings on, so I get to see all the bells and whistles and just seeing that Decima engine in its best light. So it's good. I like it. I'm enjoying it. I was playing a lot of PlayStation. Played a lot of
Okay.
Until Dawn. Played through that again. Got a little mad with Until Dawn. Let me tell you what happened with that. So I did a playthrough where I didn't get the trophy yet to just let everybody die. So actually had a nice little fun with that. Even though like halfway through I started to feel kind of bad about like setting these people up to get killed. But I did all that. I get to the end. I don't get the trophy. And the way it's not like Detroit Become Human, where you can just choose a certain chapter and then unlock everything in that chapter, and it kind of like stays with your profile or whatever. Like you've unlocked all these things. Until Dawn, it's like if you go back, it kind of resets everything. So you really can't just go from one chapter forward. You kind of gotta just like keep going from there. It doesn't keep all your everything you unlocked, all the information that you got. So there's like trophies I got. I'm always missing like one thing. So there's like some certain trophies I got that I just can't get. I don't think I'm ever going to get them. I think I'm just done. But playing that, I played another game called The Bunker, which was really weird, and I didn't really enjoy that. Yeah. But then I did a review. I actually just uploaded the review for the Suicide of Rachel Foster, which is an interesting game, very interesting game. It's if you like those kind of games, like What Remains of Edith Finch, Firewatch, The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, Gone Home, then you'll like this game. It has a very suspenseful and intriguing plot and storyline, and it has a nice. I was a racer made a comment on my review that that game gave him a vibe of The Shining, and it definitely has a vibe of The Shining, and some really nice little suspenseful moments, but not the best out of all that. I still think What Remains of Edith Finch is like the pinnacle of those kind of games, that kind of genre, and this one was a nice addition. But go check out the review if you guys or have the time, got 5 minutes, just go ahead and check it out. But that's what I've been playing. Of course, a little bit of Road Company here and there, a little bit of Among Us. Among Us is we have got to.
I'm telling you, bro.
The Legion of Scum has to play Among Us, and we got I'm a live stream it because this going
I will
to
too
be
if we get a bunch of people.
Hilarious. We gotta get Luca in there. We gotta get all day in there because that game, I played it with Erica. Shout out to Eric Cuts for the win. And Hustle, shout out to Hustle. With Melodic Punk, KW Fang, played with a whole bunch of guys, and it was I didn't realize it was going to be that much fun, but just being able to kill someone, murder someone, and then just lie to everyone else about it and convince them that you didn't do it is just it made me giddy. It was great. And can you imagine like the Legion doing that together? Yeah. It would be epic. So like Luca already talked about doing it. I think she downloaded on mobile. And for everyone that's listening, the game is only on PC and mobile right now. With its popularity, it's probably going to end up on consoles at some point too, because it's really, really popular. And it's like less than a gig to download. It's like the size of a JPEG, honestly. But
literally,
it's on PC for $5 and it's on mobile for free. So like, check the game out.
I know it was on mobile for free.
Yes, it's more mobile,
and it's free. It's crossplay too.
Yes, because like some of the people we were playing with were on mobile, whereas and a lot of others were playing on PC. So like it doesn't matter as long as you
could
create a private get on Discord, create a private session, and then whoever is hosting the session just divvies out the code, and whoever gets in with the code, whether you're on mobile or PC, you get in. It's a lot of fun, man.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, you already know what my life's been, so that's going to tie into the rest of this stuff. But outside of just life in general, wife was out of town. She just came back today, so she was in Tennessee visiting her great grandma. So I had the kids the whole weekend. So had to be all the hats this whole weekend. Plus the kids was back in school, so The homeschooling was all in effect. Shout out to Dizzy talking about he can see my future. I see your future too, sir. An L in the Super Bowl. So let's not forget who's king here. Just because you lucked up and Carson Wentz dropped the
is this a fantasy
on the
football
ground.
thing? Is
Yes.
this a fantasy? All right.
Yeah. Dizzy got me by
watching and listening.
Dizzy got me by 25 points.
Right.
Dizzy got me by 25 points in this game. That's okay though. Because if he needed to get some, broke clocks are at least they right at least a couple of times. That's the last time it's going to be right when it comes to me. But I'm gonna leave you alone, Dizzy, because you're gonna stir up a rabbit's hornet's nest and not know what to do with it.
But real salty that he destroyed you.
I am because I shouldn't have lost to him. Salty. I shouldn't have lost to him because Carson Wentz is trash.
He's garbage.
He's trash.
He is dumpster juice. Yeah.
What did you see the interview that his interview with Peterson? The guy asked him a question. He was like, "What's good?" He said, "What can you contribute Carson Wentz's his devolvement into?" And he thought he said his evolve. He evolved. He said, "What did you say? Evolved?" He's like, "No, devolved." He's like, "Oh, okay, we on the same page."
Oh man, that's pretty tough. But also pretty accurate, so
I was like, he threw that dude under the bus, bro. But we gonna leave it alone, man. But Dizzy, shout out to you, man. You got one off the king. That's okay. The king will come back and get you at a later date. But outside of that, man, I've been playing a lot of
more slander, 14 Nails classic quotes, as well as George Bush. Because you definitely just really destroyed that quote. The quote is, I don't know. A broken clock is right.
Twice a day.
2 times a day. That's what you said.
I know that's what it is.
Broke clocks are right twice sometimes or something like that.
No, I know exactly what the quote was. I was trying to be slick and say something else, but you know what? I forget you can't be original and say something different without.
Well, I mean, if you gotta be original, you need to create your own metaphors. How about you do that?
Okay. Well, maybe you shouldn't try to metaphor a quote that everybody knows. So probably that's what it is. So shout out to you, Gregor, for being the goddamn fucking detective out here trying to figure out every goddamn thing. But shout out to you. But outside of that, Destiny. I was running a lot of damn Nightfalls last week because of the double rewards. I was running them with Luca pretty much the whole entire week. Outside of that, man, it was really nothing else. Making a lot of videos and just being surprised by everything that's happening in this godforsaken community. We went from one form of damage controlling to a whole nother form of damage controlling, and it's just tiring at this point. But look, man, you already know what the people here to talk about.
Yeah, don't look in the chat, because if you look in the chat, it's going to be a problem.
I already know. I know. Gregor, Forte is about as original as a Ubisoft game. Yeah, we know. But I have evolved, sir. They have gotten rid of the scumbag that was holding back their games, and I'm not going to be sheltered any longer by the things that happened by Ubisoft. But let's move on. Slow-mo.
Yes.
Slow-mo.
Yes.
What is Racer saying now? Oh my God. Crazy people usually think outside. That's true. That's true. Senile people do it too.
Yeah, right. So look, on topic.
Yes, please get us off. Because if I keep going, I'm going to keep us off.
Yes, I know. This huge historic event that occurred yesterday. So yesterday morning, everyone woke up to a massive surprise from a massive acquisition by Microsoft. So Microsoft has, acquired ZeniMax Media. And if you're not aware of who ZeniMax Media is a company that's based in my neck of the woods. I live in the Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia area, the DMV as we like to call it. And they work out of Rockville, which is in Maryland. But ZeniMax Media is the owner of Bethesda Publishing, Softworks, their internal studios, as well as Arcane Studios, id Software, Machine Games, Tango. What was it? Tango? I can't remember the name, but that's a Japanese studio. They did The Evil Within, and just a whole like 8 studios total, I think. And so all that's massive IPs: Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Dishonored, so many games that people have played over the years, classics like Skyrim that people won't stop playing for some reason. And all of this has occurred. What's up, Taz? How you doing, man?
What's up,
Bounty
Taz, baby?
Boom, Def Lloyd. What's up, guys? All that said, Microsoft has acquired the entirety of that little empire for $7.5 billion.
Say it again, slow-mo.
$7.5 billion.
I don't think you could ever say that number without saying it twice, because it's that freaking unrealistic of a number to think that is even real.
It's I'm kind of like not fully there yet. Like,
no,
I still haven't quite processed the fact that Bethesda is a first party to Microsoft, to Xbox. Mm-hmm. That's a first party now.
Say it like Dizzy said, in cash at that. In cash.
They basically went in their pockets. So, like, Phil Spencer showed up and was like, "Yeah, we're gonna acquire you," and it was just like, "Nah, look, we cool and all, but I don't know about that." And then Phil was like, "Hey, look,
this was the house he really wanted, and he was like, I wanted it at a discount."
Exactly. Like, look behind you. You see that truck? Yeah, I see that truck.
What's up, Mooch?
Ain't nothing but money in that truck. It's all yours.
It's all yours.
Well, no, look, I get that. Look, I know you guys got a lot of money, but I don't think we're for sale. Okay. You look past that truck I just told you about.
Right. There's another one.
There's another truck and another truck. And I'm gonna keep pulling up trucks until you say yes. Okay, I think we got it. You so what do we call you? Are we Microsoft Bethesda? Are we like that's how you when you're a trillion dollar corporation and you are in top 3 when it comes to wealth in the entire world, you can just do that. That's pocket change to Microsoft.
But dog, but the thing that shocks me the most is the cash. Like, we know that Microsoft is worth 1.5 trillion, but usually that's paper. It's like stocks and stuff.
Whoa, what's up, Mooch?
What's up? It's like stock and everything that they own, all of the property they own, all of the investments they have. It's mostly paper. I mean, it does turn into money if they wanted to, but the fact that they were able just to write a check for $7.5 billion and say, here you go, and not have to use any stock options or anything, bro, that's a whole nother level right there. I when I saw cash in the description of what Microsoft did, I was like, bro, Satya Nadella was like, bro, how much money do you need? I don't want you to come back here until you get that deal done. And that's what he basically did.
And I'm glad you mentioned the CEO, Satya Nadella, because he recently, in some comments on that were attributed to CNET, made the very bold, indication that they're not done. Now, look, anyone could say, like, if Aaron Greenberg, who's in marketing for Xbox, said we're not done yet, I mean, you're like, all right, whatever, you don't make those deals, you're the marketing guy, but cool. If Matt Booty said we're not done yet, I'm like, cool, you do run first party, but you don't sign the checks, so I can see you trying to make the deal, but not quite, finishing the deal. But when the CEO says that, okay, all right, so yeah, you really not done, because it's like, who else is there does he need to speak to? If he says we're not done acquiring more studios, I actually want to find the quote that he said.
I have it.
But he says you can't wake up one day and say, let me build a game studio. Because if you think about that, think about what they did with the Initiative, right? They built the Initiative. They also built World's Edge. Now, World's Edge does specifically just Age of Empire IP. And then the Initiative is doing whatever they're doing. It's very, very well rumored. It's Perfect Dark and maybe something else. But, like, think about how they're just really starting to get their legs under them. They had to put a team together. They started from scratch. It takes a while. And so when it takes a while like that, it takes longer for you to get those games out. And what Nadella is seeing is that we got Game Pass. We need content for Game Pass. We now up to 15 million subscribers in Game Pass. We need to get that content now. And
That's
so,
doubled since April.
yeah,
They literally
yeah.
announced 10 million subscribers in April, and they
Well, not double.
50%,
Yeah,
50% growth
increase in
in
just over the
4
summer.
months.
Yeah, just over the summer. So that now you could attribute some of that to the COVID crisis and people being home and needing things to do, but then that's just giving you the opportunity to keep those people once things
Yeah.
change. So like this is they're seeing that growth, and I'm pretty sure Nadella doesn't want that to go down. He wants that to continue. And how do you make that continue? You gotta have content. Now, Forza, you may remember last year we had on BRAP, we had a conversation about this.
Yeah, we did.
Because there was a inside investor Microsoft call, and they were talking to their investors about what their plans were for Game Pass, and what their plans was they wanted to drop a AAA game every quarter, and
Yep.
really everybody was like, "What?" Like, no, you just can't. No, you can't do every quarter a AAA game. That's just like you can't do that with your current 14 studios or 15 studios. It's just not possible.
Yeah.
And I said then, doing the math and to make sure that they don't force their studios to release unfinished buggy messes, the only way to do that is to have more than 20 developers under your belt so that you can have a little bit of leeway. You can have a little bit of leeway with one game needs to get delayed.
Right.
You know, you might have something else like have a minimum of one AAA game of, you know, coming out every quarter. You need to have something else in there, you know,
Right.
kind of like fill the gap because delays happen. Halo Infinite, right? So it's just like it's not feasible. Like I said, it's not feasible. I don't know what they're thinking. It's going to take them a while to build up this kind of portfolio. And what Nadella is saying is you can't wake up one day and say, let me build a game studio. The idea of having content is so we can reach larger communities. He's talking content is just the incredible ingredient to our platform that we continue to invest in. This doubles the size of our creative organization. He's talking about getting the content now. How do you get the content now? You buy a big major publisher who already has 8 studios under their belt and says, all right, we got our extra content. And so now you're up to 23. I want to say Mooch said something in the chat.
Let me get the let me see. Bowdy Boom with the $5 super chat. They said they have more to come. Who else do you think they're going to buy? Bro.
Well, I have some ideas. We can
we'll circle back to that one, but I can tell you that
get to that in a minute.
Yeah, I can honestly tell you that I think one of them is the fact that certain people out here lying that they ain't been in talks about acquisition, and I think Bungie is one of those candidates. Clearly. But there are other people that are out there that we will talk about on that later. But if you had to get a guess from me off rip, I think it's a lot going on with that Bungie situation that they're not talking about. But go ahead. You said Mooch said something now?
But before I get to what Mooch was saying, what if it's
he's talking about Jeff Grubb right here? I see it.
Yeah. What if it's Sega? Because they've been focusing a lot on Japan. Every time Phil talks about acquisitions, at some point he makes some kind of insinuation how he wants a Japanese developer. He wants something from that hemisphere of the world to be able to make games for their platform that resonate with that, you know, kind of audience. What if it's like, and you want major content because they want to have a lot of content quickly, and you just can't just be, you know, like it's I guess at some point they realize this is taking too long. I mean, we bought 5, then we bought 3, then we bought 2 more, and we made 2. All right, let's just get Bethesda, you know, right. Like, and so everyone's got a price, and literally that was pocket change for them. So I'm not saying they're gonna go get Take-Two or anything like that, but they might.
That's appeal. That's appeal right there, man. Take-Two. Yeah, that's just for Rockstar. That's appeal.
Yeah, and you know they wouldn't do something like Konami, because I know a lot of people were like, a lot of PlayStation fans was like, go out and buy Konami. They ain't doing nothing, and it's like Xbox wouldn't want Konami because they want developers to make those games.
Yeah, they
And
need
Konami
developers to
really
make all
ain't
those
got like
games.
without
Yeah.
Kojima, they ain't really got it like that no more. Let me get to what Mooch was saying. Mooch said that Jeff Grubb was saying some of these Bethesda Studios was going to have layoffs or been closed down if not for the Xbox buyout. I like Fallout 76, but almost no one else did. Wow, that is a startling,
Revelation. Yeah.
revelation.
I agree with him on the
I
Fallout
appreciate your
76
honesty
stuff.
in that. I don't know about your taste in games now, but I
Ooh.
appreciate your honesty.
Well, no, well, I will tell you this, Slow-Mo. A lot of people hated Fallout 76 and never went back to it. But I do know a couple of people that went back and played it because it was in Game Pass, and they spent months in there after they fixed it. Now, granted, it took them an entire 2 years, it felt like, to get that thing up and running to where it is.
Right.
But people love it now. There's a lot of people in there playing it.
Now, do you think, okay, let's say it's true what Jeff Grubb was saying about how Bethesda was in so much trouble. And you think about, like, hey, Skyrim was a major cash cow.
Hey, Luca.
Skyrim is old. What's up, Luca? Skyrim is old as dirt. Right, so like that's an old game. People have played it on every platform already. Fallout 4 didn't really hit well with people, and then you got Elder Scrolls Online, which I guess is doing well, and then you got some really quality games with the Wolfenstein games and Doom. But then I heard those games didn't sell the way they wanted them to. When you're a major publisher, you got over 2,000 employees. You need to have the kind of sales that Call of Duty has, the kind of sales that FIFA and Madden do for EA. You need to have that GTA Online level of revenue flow that Take-Two and Rockstar enjoy. So in order to be able to keep the lights on and pay the salaries and benefits of all these people, and that Bethesda has been really suffering and deservedly so. I feel like they deserved every single bit of it. Them sticking with that trash creation engine, the bugginess of their games, the not listening to their community. And look, let me not get in.
At least we can get rid of the creation engine now.
Like Bethesda, how they do business much.
Oh, speak the truth, bro.
But
you've been on this for a while. I understand where you're coming from.
But like I feel like where they were. If that was the case, they got to own that. They deserve that. They put themselves in that place. They had a very, very loyal community. Very loyal community. People who would just go and just like, it's okay that your games are buggy. I'll fix it. I'll make mods to fix your game for you. And you still spit in their face. That's ridiculous. Like you own the title of Bethesda with that. And so all that said, maybe their like unwillingness to delay games until they were ready, the showing a canvas bag and then giving people a trash bag.
Oh Lord, yeah.
Edition,
what is this, velvet?
Yeah, like that's like cost cutting kind of stuff. Like I show you a canvas bag that's expensive.
Yeah,
you put in every collector's edition. I give you
a raincoat,
equivalent of a raincoat. Like
that's what they did.
Maybe all of this was we trying to save money, and so now that they're under Microsoft, and like they said, like this is like they're not becoming us. They're still Bethesda. So I guess Arcane and id and Machine Games will still just they talk to Bethesda about the games they're going to make, and Bethesda will green light stuff and then kind of like roll it by Xbox, division proper and be like, this is what we're doing. Cool, great. But now they got a bigger cash flow of money coming through. So they don't have to make those kind of decisions like, this game really could use 5 more months in development.
Yeah,
we're going to throw that out there.
That's kind of the whole situation that happened with all of these games. Like, shout out to Luca, which he says right here, it makes sense that Prey didn't do well. Dishonored 2 underperformed. Mm-hmm. People hated the Wolfenstein expansion. Fallout 76 was a disaster. So all of these games you just named, with the exception of Dishonored, it's a stealth game. It's probably one of the best stealth games
I know of that played Dishonored 2 said it was a good game.
It's literally one of the best stealth games you can play because it's not just stealth. But the thing is, people don't, people just don't gravitate to those type of games like that. And Prey, the unfortunate thing with Prey was people was expecting the original Prey, like the way that they built it the first time, but they changed it up completely from the original premise that Prey was built under. So a lot of people
that
like
expansion that was it Typhoon Hunter or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
I heard that was really good, but then like people kind of turned off by the original game that no one even really gave the expansion a shot.
No one gave the expansion a shot.
Like situations where like your game actually may be really quality, like, and everyone recognizes that the games that Bethesda publishes are far better in quality than like the in-house stuff as far as visuals, as far as bugginess, lack of bugs. Those games are up there. Like, so many people love Doom Eternal, but then apparently that didn't sell the way they wanted it to. And it's just that puts you in a situation where, look, you might have to lay off a massive number of people, or you could go with the Xbox Game Studio approach, which once again, I will again plug my video that talks about Xbox's acquisition pitch, which is like, go talk to those other guys who are now under us now and thought that we were going to make them like us.
Right.
And talk to them and ask them how things are under Microsoft and how they love it.
Yeah, Dizzy said
that's the approach.
Yeah, Dizzy said Prey 2 sounded glorious. Then we got Bethesda Prey. That's pretty much what. Look, and the thing is, but this is the funny thing: the Prey DLC, I hear is fantastic. It's just the base game is boring as hell. I heard from everybody. I remember talking to Rand about it, and he said it was like one of the best games and stories he played, but like literally getting through the game was a chore because the story itself was boring.
Right.
But the gameplay was fun.
Yeah.
So that just seems to be. And then there's been a lot of back and forth in the community about ZeniMax was just trying to cash out. Like they knew something was going to happen. Either like Moosh said, Jeff Grubb was talking about, they were going to either close some of the studios. They were thinking about moving on for some of these different franchises, but they wanted to get one last hurrah out from them. Because just think about the fast, like people were even talking about the fast turnaround in Fallout 76. Like, when's the last time we got a Fallout turnaround that fast? And then on top of it, you made it into a games as service, because they were inching towards this resolution where they wanted to start moving on from some of this stuff. And then the company was like literally just imploding on itself. Mm-hmm. And Microsoft more than likely did just go in there and swoop it up. Shout out to Gregor. He was talking about Bethesda right here. He said Bethesda was working on a streaming service. So part of that price was probably to buy out a competitor, which definitely could be part of the case too. Especially now that they can share tech. I think one of the biggest crown jewels in this though is, let's be for real, Doom is incredible. It's literally probably the best thing they got out of this compared to where Elder Scrolls is going. I think there's a lot of different moving parts that can actually happen during this. What do you think about how this is going to, what do you think this is going to do for Xbox and Game Pass and stuff, Slow-Mo?
I think this is going to be amazing for Game Pass, because now you're going to be getting AAA games on a consistent basis. So you're not just relying on studios who, although they were studios that were already, running and doing business, but when they were acquired, they had obligations. And so those obligations, and granted, Bethesda has obligations too.
Right.
But they, being a publisher, can spin up a new IP with 8 studios a lot quicker than one studio taking a portion of their developers and creating a separate team to work on a new game, right? So that's like, there's a whole different level of allocating resources there. And I think this is going to be, I mean, we already know for a fact Deathloop is going to be in Game Pass. Probably not at launch because of the PS5 timed exclusive, but I heard something about the delays for those games might be due to this. That there may be some language in the marketing contract with Sony where it's a particular date and not necessarily from launch of their game where they get that timed exclusive stuff. I heard something like that. I don't know for certain, but we do know when it comes out on PC, and it comes out on Xbox, it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be in Game Pass at launch.
Yep.
Their entire back catalog is going to be in Game Pass very soon if it's not already. So I remember at some point, maybe like a month ago, there was a sale for Dishonored 1 and 2 together on Steam. I almost bought it. I was like, man, both of those games for like $20. That's a pretty good deal. Let me go. That I forgot to pull the trigger on it. I'm glad I did, because now both of those games are going to be in Game Pass. That is boosting the library they already have in Game Pass, and then adding more to it. So like when Starfield comes out, like what are you going to do? Like now these are the questions that people have, because people are really hyped for Starfield. They ain't seen nothing but a JPEG, graphic icon of it, sure, but they are hyped for space Elder Scrolls, right?
Right.
So what are you going to do here? Are you going to buy it at $70 on PlayStation 5? Or are you going to spend the $5 to $10 or whatever it is to play it on Game Pass? And then if you really like it the way some of these people like Skyrim, and you keep playing it for months and months and months and months, and then you get to super high level and you're doing all kinds of other random stuff in this big, massive sandbox, you're probably going to end up keeping Game Pass for even longer. So this is a huge W for Xbox.
Oh man, yeah, it's crazy. Shout out to Basement Radio Arcade Podcast, Enrique in the house. Woo!
What's up,
Salute
Enrique?
Forte and Slow Mo. Hit that like button, man.
What's up, Enrique, who said he wasn't buying the Xbox Series X, but then absolutely got an Xbox Series X as soon as
I saw that in the DM, and I was going to wait till tomorrow to call him out on it. But you know what? Since you already brung it up, let's have this conversation about how fake this man has been about him saying, I ain't buying no Xbox. I'm PC Master Race. I can get all their games on PC. But this man went out and bought a $500 system.
He gonna tell us this for his kids, knowing he's gonna play that himself.
Knowing that thing gonna be sitting right in his office, next to his TV, next to his PC. It's gonna be the tower of power. Matter of fact, Enrique, did you get a 3080 yet? You gonna get that 3090? That's probably why he's getting this Xbox, because he wasn't able to secure the bag on one of those other.
Yeah, I mean, you want to spend $3,000 on a 3080? I mean, like,
I don't know if he walking around in flip flops like he king around here. So,
oh man, not the flip flops. Oh man.
Shout out to Enrique. Let's be for real, Enrique. We thank you for the super chat, brother. Really appreciate it. Shout out to everybody that did get an Xbox. We're gonna transition to that like later on, because there's just so much stuff to talk about with this Game Pass stuff. But I am interested. Who all actually got an Xbox, and which one did you get? So put that down in the chat so we can have a back and forth about that later on in the show. But man, let's be for real though. This is
shout out to Enrique for the other $2 super chat. Slow mo, I am a good father. Don't hate. See, I knew that was going to be his excuse for it.
But didn't he say he was going to buy the S for his kid? He said, I don't have remember the conversation. My kids will just take the X. So what happened? The X ain't good anymore for your kids no more?
You mean the S?
He had it. No, talk about he was going to remember. He said he had an Xbox One X that he was going to get to his kids.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah, so all of a sudden the X must not have been good enough. You know that X still plays all of these same games that Bethesda is releasing in Game Pass. So you didn't have to go out and buy the system, Enrique, but you wanted to buy the system. You know why? Because Microsoft put up $7.5 billion. It was like, Enrique, we want you to come home. And Enrique was like, I don't want to come home. I'm scared. I don't trust you, Phil Spencer. And he was like, listen, come home, Enrique. Come home. And just the allure, maybe they had the wind blowing through Phil Spencer's hair or something. I don't know. He's very infatuated with the way that people smile. So he probably was very happy with the way that Phil Spencer was smiling at him during this whole conversation. So Enrique, welcome back to the Xbox Nation, sir. I really appreciate you coming back. Make sure you hit the like button yourself, sir. And appreciate your $2 super chat as always, sir. But outside of that, man, speaking of which, Basement Radio Arcade Podcast tomorrow, me and Slow Mo, B Money, Eric Jackson, and Brap will be talking about this stuff all over again tomorrow with Enrique's unique spin on it. But with his unique spin.
So what did you get, man? Did you get but since pre-orders have gone live for both platforms since we have been live on DPS podcast again. So you tell me if you've gotten the PS5 or the Xbox Series X or
I have one of
or
the
both.
Two. I have one of the two.
What did you get?
Oh, I have a PlayStation.
So you got the PlayStation. Which one?
I got the PlayStation 5. I got the
one with the disc,
the 500 gig. I mean the 500 gig. I have the disc version. I do.
You didn't get the Series X?
No, I did not.
Or you didn't get the Series S?
I didn't. Either one.
Why?
So let's have a conversation about this. I felt bad. I felt bad for the people. Okay, so listen. Okay. I saw allocation Monday, so I knew how many we were getting. I made some promises to some people that
you made sure they got one.
That they made sure they got one. So shout out to Taz. I made sure he got one because that's my man's. And I always ride die for the people that I know. So when you make these promises, you sit there, you say, they're not gonna shortchange us. We're gonna at least be able to get our systems, and there's probably gonna be about 15, 20 of them left over. Slow-mo, what was the number that you saw on all of the tweets today from people standing in line early as hell this morning?
10 or less. I was seeing a lot of 6 units for Series X and always 2 units. It was
only 2 units of the S. No more than that.
Every store got 2 Series S's, like no more than that. And this kind of goes back to something that I was thinking when I saw the allocation numbers for the PS5s, because if you notice, the digital version of the PS5 have very low numbers as well. And so what I'm thinking is that both Microsoft and Sony independently came to the conclusion that the cost of these cheaper models is just way too high right now. Way too high for what their manufacturing cost is. And they said, well, how do we mitigate this? Because every time we sell one of these, we're losing money, and we're hoping that we're going to make money back off of course, sales. And because they're both digital only units, pieces of hardware, all that money's going to us, but we don't know for certain if we're going to be able to get as much back to make it worthwhile. So how do you mitigate that? You mitigate that by not creating enough.
Right.
Every time you make one, you lose money, so you don't make as many, so that you're not losing as much money. Now, that doesn't mean that forever they're always going to make less amounts of the cheaper versions. I think that's going to increase. We might see that flip as time goes, but that's going to be as the cost of manufacturing these systems goes down, because the parts, the internals in them, 2-3 years from now, it's the same parts that they're in there right now that are super expensive right now, but in a year they won't be as expensive. In 6 months they won't be as expensive, and so then you'll start to see the number of units created go higher, as it's not hurting them as much to make them. So I mean, I kind of expected that to happen.
Shout out to Enrique with the $2 super chat. He said that $200 trade in at GameStop definitely helped. Shout out to you for watching the video, man. I don't put up too many videos about GameStop because I work there and stuff. So, sometimes you just don't want to say something that you ain't supposed to say. But a lot of people reached out to me on DM and in those comment sections talking about how they took their systems in and got $200 for it. So I'm very happy for you guys, man. I'm glad you guys got the systems if you did. For myself, like I was saying, the only reason I didn't get it, because trust me, I had the opportunity to get the system. But once I saw that my store was only going to have a total of 6 of the X's, I pulled up to my store today, and I kind of made the decision the day before, because after I said I was going to take care of a couple of people, we were only going to have 4 systems left over, like of the X. And it just didn't feel right because me and one of my associates wanted one too. So I just didn't feel right writing on the door saying we only got 2 X's and one, and one S, because that would have been the situation, knowing we would have had like 40 people standing outside. Mm-hmm. So me and my associates, we all talked about it on the night before, and we just came to the conclusion, like, it'll be easier for us to find one than it is for these people. Now, granted, it didn't help as much because we didn't have a high amount to give away. I mean, to sell to people. Mm-hmm. But I just felt like the 2 that we didn't take as associates were 2 other people that got super happy and got the system. And I'll know when the allocation comes in, and I'll take care of myself then. But I was just happy to see people that truly wanted the system get them. And there was a lot of turnout for Xbox today. People were really wondering, like, hey, are these people going to actually buy this system? And I can easily tell you it was nip and tuck the whole day throughout, like literally throughout the whole day. People were literally coming to the store. Hey, when are pre-orders coming back up? When are you going to have this? When are you going to do that? Can I get put on a list? And yeah, we ended up pre-ordering a bunch of accessories because we're using, anybody that pre-ordered like the games or accessories, we put them on the first to know list because they actually want the system. I didn't just do a call list for just anybody to be on. It's like, hey, if you reserve some stuff that prove that you want the system, then I will make sure you get one. So they're on a call list to get it. We had a bunch of people on that. So there is a lot of interest in this system. The S actually did not sell until we ran out of X's at that point. And to that point, a lot of people were like, bro, if I did an S, can I upgrade to the X? And I was like, yeah, you can easily do that. I said, I could move you over the same day if you just put down on the S. And the 2 that I had, well, the 1 extra that I had, that's the way that one went. So it was a lot of, it was a really fun time day today. It was exhausting telling people no, but I've been really hearing people on Twitter talk about this, like especially a lot of the PlayStation people saying that, this should be an L for Xbox and stuff. And they're saying Xbox is having the same problems that Sony, but you guys aren't using the same energy. Let's be for real here. The energy that Microsoft put out today and the energy that Sony put out last week is completely different. The fact that Microsoft gave you 2.5 weeks notice on when these systems was going to be available for you to pre-order allow people to manage their lives and get in line with doing what they needed to do to try to get one. Everybody had an opportunity to get an Xbox today.
Well, to be fair,
go ahead.
It also gave the opportunity for the scalpers and their bot to know exactly when to launch their essentially their attacks on retailers online, websites. And when people say bots, they just think of it like in a very general term. But essentially what's happening is that they're I don't think they know how to do this themselves, but they're purchasing scripts that are being created for them. And those scripts are essentially running. This is code. This is someone is creating that where it essentially goes in to the website, clicks on everything it needs to click, fills in everything, and then makes the purchase before you can hover over pre-order.
Yeah.
And it can do that multiple times before you finally get to the checkout screen. And that's why you see things like it's going live at 9 p.m. or 9 a.m., 10 a.m. And at 9:59, everything's fine on that website. You clicking on different pages and everything just loads snappy fast. And then at 10 o'clock on the dot, everything shuts down. You can't get that web page to respond to you.
Oh no, yeah, it was like that at GameStop's website too. The difference was they staggered theirs out. They staggered some at 11. They did some at 11:30. We still had systems on the website at like 12:15 because when I looked it up, They were still subbing and they're available under bundles and stuff. So they did a really good job standing out. And I agree, Slow-Mo, the it's no good way of doing it, especially if you're going to give a time and date to something. You just open it up to the people to be able to get, to take advantage of all the people that want the system. But I will easily take what happened today. And guess what? People weren't upset. Like, that's the thing that really, I thought I was going to have a bunch of upset people today because people stand in line, they camped out, and we had a sign on our door that said we only had 4 available. And they still stood in line. And when they came into the store, they was like, hey, I was like, yo, get on the website, see if you could get one. I said the backup plan is going to be anybody that pre-orders any accessories or games. I'm going to put you on this exclusive list to make sure you get one as soon as they come available. I said, man, I'm only doing 15.
You are such a salesman. That's
because I'm literally, look,
you got people to spend money in your store without even getting what they were there for.
Because legit,
people buying headsets and controllers for
stuff they
don't even got.
For systems they ain't even got pre-orders. You know why, Slow-Mo?
Water to a whale, man.
No, but you know what, Slow-Mo? When I can sit there and tell these people, like, I'm literally sitting there I was like, bro, listen, I'm with y'all. This sucks. I mean, you just
sell a crucifix.
You just appeal to people, Slow-Mo. It's not hard to do. You just literally tell people how it is. Like, people are literally I even got people because it's based on like allocation is going to be based on how you sell with attach and stuff. So the 4 systems that I did have, I told everybody that was in line, I said, yo, this is what I need you to do, bro. I said, I know you just want to pre-order this system, but I need you to pre-order the accessories and the games with it too, because that's going to help us get more systems for other people to get them. And it was like, well, I was only going to get the system today. I was going to get the games later. I said, well, all you got to do is put the $5 down. That's going to guarantee all your stuff. So it's here. And on top of that, that's going to help all of these people behind you get a better chance of getting their systems faster. And guess what? Every last one of those people were like, I'm down with that. And they all put stuff, they all put down on it. Look, it's called selling water to a well, but guess what? People
when GameStop comes down to 30 stores left,
I'll be one of them.
You're gonna be one of those stores.
I'll be one of them.
Good grief.
I'll be one of them.
Hey, I don't know if you got these super chats.
Let me get this super chat from Brat real quick. Forte, how did GameStop not have any Xbox for pre-orders? My homie went to his GameStop. They opened up and told them they had not received any pre-orders. Let's be for real here.
That GameStop gonna close down tomorrow.
Let's be for real here. All GameStops had them. The reason
wait, so he's lying.
Oh, no. They're probably not lying. They probably didn't have any by the time everything was said and done when it comes to the associates and stuff. So because they didn't mandate this. This is a thing. GameStop, that's a perk. Let's be for real. The perk of working at retail is you get stuff before everybody else does. That's you. They have
so they
retailers
got like 3. And
they probably
everybody who worked at the store was like, well, this is mine and that's yours and this is yours. So we got nothing for customers. That's messed
we
up,
have nothing.
Man.
And
well, maybe that's why they got so little stock, because they don't really.
That might be why, but that's but look, so now you see why I didn't get mine today, because I know when the next allocation comes in. I don't physically know right now. But when I'm at work,
I was about to ask you.
Yeah, no, I don't know right now. But when they send me that email saying this is how many you're getting and it's going to be on this day, I'm going to be like, let me get my system. Let my associate get his system. And then I'm going to go down the list of 20 people that I got first and get all those people in the store and get their systems out of the way. And then we'll work on other people once that's done. It's called just being a good customer service agent and making sure you take care of the people that take care of you. That's the one thing that I don't think a lot of people realize when it comes to that. But look, man, it was rough telling these people that they couldn't get their systems today, but they were peaceful. They were peaceful as heck. I really enjoyed today interacting with just gamers, because everybody that was out today just wants to get a system, and it was cool. What was your experience today, Slow-Mo? Oh, I forgot. You don't want an Xbox, so you probably didn't even leave your house. You went after a controller, right?
Yeah, I went after that amazing looking blue controller, that blue and silver controller, that Xbox Series controller looks
That
great.
mug look beautiful, bro.
I was on and look, and just me just
Oh,
trying
wait
to
a
get
minute.
that. I was on
Luke,
Best Buy for like 2 hours
let
just
me get
hitting
Luca with this
refresh.
one real quick. Luca with the
Mhm.
$2 super chat says, guess. Read that slow mo.
Guess that thought slow-mo was wrong. Let me just say
You know,
something real
you
quick.
know what she's talking about, right? Slow
She's
mo.
talking about me saying that the Xbox Series S will sell out, but the Xbox Series X will be available. Now, let me clarify that. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me
Damage control. Let's
clarify
go.
this. Now, isn't that damage control? I'll take the L on it. Because I was not clear in what my meaning was. And what my meaning was is that in December, because I even made this analogy when we were talking about this before on DPS, I think the first episode, or maybe before we had the official name. I said that, if little Timmy wants an Xbox Series X in December, he's going to be able to get an Xbox Series X in December. I'm talking about like availability after launch. I wasn't really talking about pre-order stuff, which is fine. Look, I'll take the L. I will own the L. I'll put it in my pocket. It'll be my L. I did not think that bots would be out here like this. Like that happens to like in the sneaker industry. I didn't think that was going to happen in the gaming industry like this. So look, I had my thought was that literally everyone who's going to be pre-ordering these systems was going to be people that just wanted to get them. I didn't think it was going to be bots snatching up a good.
Oh, so now you blaming bots for this happening.
Hey, look, people couldn't get it.
Oh, well, before you keep damage
go to eBay.
Wait, before you continue with this,
go to eBay right now. There are Xbox Series X's on eBay
Dirt
being
Griggity
sold for
deserves his super chat.
$950.
Dirt Griggity deserves his super chat read before you start this damage controlling all over again. Great show, brothers. Got to come east to visit you at work, Forte. Bro, come through, man. Come through. Y'all always say y'all gonna come through, but y'all never come through. That goes out to you too, one bad mother, because you live literally like 14 minutes from my store. But slow-mo, listen, bro. Listen.
Can I finish my thought?
All right, go ahead, because you know the chat gonna roast you, but go ahead.
Look, they can say whatever they want. Look, I did not suspect that the bot situation would be like that. When I look at scalpers, I never thought, and this is sad for me because I'm in the tech industry. I know how to write scripts like that. Like I didn't think that, like, maybe because I didn't think someone with my skill set would do something like that. But then I just kind of, maybe my imagination of scalpers is just like this real shady dude who like getting bathed in 2 weeks, and he's just like, the kind of guy that got like a bunch of Xboxes and PlayStations in his trunk. He's like, going up to people, hey, I got that new PlayStation. You want that new PlayStation? $300, like, whatever, like, something like that, right? So that was like my in my mind how I imagined it, and I'm thinking those kind of guys are just going to buy in bulk, and like as a human clicking here and here, and then with someone's stolen credit card.
Slow-mo super chat take precedence over this backtracking. Basement Radio Arcade Podcast with the $2 super chat. When Slow-mo says clarify, he means backtracking. Let's go.
I'm clarifying. So look, I never suspected that it would.
What kind of shoes you got on right now, Slow-mo? Do they got enough? Are they real grippy, or do they have a little slick on that allow you to moonwalk backwards real fast?
Here we go. Look, man. Look, I'm telling you. By the time you click pre-order, 30 purchases have been made by a bot in that time period. Like so, it's just
PlayStation didn't have the same problem.
No, that's what they did have the same problem.
So what's the difference?
It wasn't as bad because, and I'm not going to give Sony credit for it because they told their people that they were going to get advance notice and they didn't. But that also kind of caught some.
I'm gonna need you to change your name to this, Slow-mo.
I'm not changing my name to anything.
Ashton Luca with the $2 super chat. Slow-mo backtrack.
What am I backtracking on? I'm explaining what happened. I said I'm taking it.
Sad says Slow-mo wearing bowling shoes.
I swear, y'all just like, y'all I don't care. It's just like I said, I'll take the L. I was wrong. and then people still gotta come up with, oh, you're backtracking. What? Literally everything that I'm saying is what people have been talking about since last Friday. Literally everything I'm talking about. Dang, those bots really took all the purchases. Look on eBay. The only place you can purchase the PS5 and the Xbox Series, whatever, right now, is on eBay for over $600 per. So it is what it is. But I mean, we're going to end up having, as you said, another round of pre-orders.
Yep.
That's going to happen before launch. Probably
we're gonna have a couple of Xbox ones before launch. That's been pretty much promised to me.
Promised to you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So, like you said, a couple. So they're going to be like
Okay. So the thing that people don't realize, the only difference is it's such a short window between now and launch compared to Xbox 360 and PS4, where there was like a 4 to 5 month, drum up to when the systems came out. When these systems released, well, not these systems, but when they released back in 2013, we had roughly about 100 to 120 PlayStation 4s and just around 100 Xbox Ones. And the original allocation was just as bad as it is now. Xbox was probably a little worse now. PlayStation was about the same, probably a little bit less. But over the course of those 5 months, we ramped up on pre-orders a lot, like to get to the number we got to. So it looks like PlayStation is really breaking their allocation up between the two countries that they're doing it in, because they do have worldwide launch going out on the 19th too, so that does matter. Where Xbox is going worldwide day one, and that's something that they didn't do last time. So a lot of the allocation I hear is being allocated to all access.
Yeah, I did see that they were launching in more countries than they did for the Xbox One.
Way more countries than they did in Xbox One.
That has always been, that was one of the main reasons why they really fell behind early against PlayStation. They launched in half the countries. They were, of course, $100 more and also a weaker piece of hardware. But so they seem to have, alleviated some of those concerns. That I still don't think they're launching in the same number of countries as PlayStation 5 is, but that's good. That's effort. That's progress, because the number of countries that you launch in isn't the number of countries that you're still in like 2 years from now. 2 years from now is always more. Like you could, like, even with Xbox One, they launched in like I think 21 countries and they ended up at somewhere at like 30 in the 30s like 2 years later. So that's progress, that you're already in the 30s. And then going to go forward even higher. So that's great to see.
Your boy Brap is in here asking the chat questions.
Yeah, I saw it.
Live chat, should Slow-Mo change his name?
All right.
And then Racer is like, yes, but to Slow-Mo Whack Track, if he could rap, he could make a diss song.
There's the name change. Done. You guys got the name change.
Gregor say if you should change your name and buy a pink Scumcast shirt. Shout out to Asher Luca with the
you know what? I bought some Scumcast.
I did too. I bought something yesterday.
I posted a picture of it on Twitter. It's fire. Shout out.
Oh, you already got it?
Yeah. Look, check my Twitter. Twitter. I got the mug, I got a t-shirt, and I got a mask. And so both.
Oh, you got the mask too?
Yeah.
The mask looks fire.
The mask is great. The mask is great. Like I'm wearing that next time I'm going out, right? But yeah, all of it's fire. Shout out to Luca. She got some great merch. But yeah, that's my check it out on Twitter. It looks good. But wearing a pink t-shirt, not gonna happen. I don't wear pink, so that's that. But I changed my name, guys. So there you go. You guys can
nothing wrong with pink, man.
And but to get back on track, I think I think this is good for both Xbox and PlayStation.
Hey, what's up, Nate?
What's up, Nate? Them getting Bethesda is definitely going to have a lot of people that just been laughing at Xbox kind of take notice and realize that they're really serious about this content thing. And of course, it's all about Game Pass. It's all about making Game Pass an attractive option to people who really don't want to consider Xbox anything. This kind of takes notice, and knowing that they're going to in the future look for more acquisitions. I mean, like people like, and right now you could jump in on Game Pass for like $1. Like it's just you see where they're going with things, and I think the narrative could be. I'm gonna say could be. I'm gonna say why it's not definitely going to be, but could be different for Xbox in like 2 years. The reason why we can't just say straight up it's definitely going to be better. No, you did not change my name. So anyway.
Just stop. He just stop mid-sentence. Like somebody just ran off with your cookies and cream ice cream, bro. No, you didn't.
Can we get back on track?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So the reason why you can't just straight up say this game, like they're going to be the reason why you can't just say that they're definitely going to be better in 2 years time, is that the game's got to deliver. And let's be real, them getting Bethesda is great, but there's a reason why the last 2 or 3 Bethesda E3 press conferences, people called them snooze fest.
That's true.
There's a reason why their nickname is Bethesda. There's a reason why a lot of people just don't resonate with their games like that, even their most popular games. So although this is a great big W and a great step in the right direction, it ain't quite there yet, you know?
Right.
And this is why they're probably like, we need to get more. We need to do more.
Right.
And I'm glad they got Nadella, the CEO, who's signed on to that, because there's always been this narrative that like when is like enough? Can Phil continue to keep spending money like this? And when you see the CEO, his only boss, say, yeah, we're gonna keep spending more. Yeah, that kills that narrative right there and there. They're definitely going to keep spending more, and they're definitely going to keep getting more first party developers, people under their belt, until they can consistently drop that with that goal of 1 AAA game per quarter. So yeah.
I think shout out to Basically Radio Arcade Podcast with the $2 super chat. It looks like Slow-Mo and Enrique have the same sectional in their house. Are they the same color too, Slow-Mo?
I don't know. Like he's probably talking about the pictures. Like when I took the picture of my Scumcast merch, it was on my couch. So yeah, it might be
leather couch.
Nah, it's like
you got kids, bro. How old are your kids?
Well, my kids know better. My kids are good.
Oh, shit, man, I don't trust my kids.
Like, they don't like. I probably have dealt with maybe like one stain on that couch. So we plus the wife hates leather, so it's just like,
if the wife can't stand it, then you know it's a no-go.
Right. So, but like, nah, I mean, like the kids know better. You ain't trying to get popped, and you don't mess that couch up. So it is what it is. But like, no, I guess he's got the same couch, maybe the same color too.
Racer said if Pac was still alive, he would make an album about you.
Okay, all right. So, right.
Pleather. Wow, pleather. I think Slow-Mo can afford a little more than pleather.
I don't have leather anything, so
you don't got that leather. You ain't got that leather jacket.
Nah.
Never? No leather car seats? Leather seats in your car?
I did have a leather jacket like back
I'm about to say, man, everybody got the fun.
When I was in college, like, yeah.
College life.
That was a while ago.
We're gonna have to talk about our younger years on the podcast one day, before we were gamers.
Let me $5, Slow-Mo. I got you, Jeff Floyd.
I got 5 on it.
I forgot where I was about to go with this. So for Sony, right?
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. So We already know that Game Pass is going to be an amazing deal now. It's going to bring a lot of people. It's going to literally bring a lot of eyeballs to the service, and people are going to really get to the point where they're going to start thinking, "Hey, do I want to pay $70 for these games on PlayStation, or get an Xbox or play on PC and get Game Pass and pay $10 a month?" Right. I think this deal pretty much solidified that a lot of people, they may not make the decision to do it, but this is probably the first time we can officially say that Microsoft has really put it on the radar where it's a decision you really have to make in either purchasing your system or if you're going to buy into the service on a different platform or not. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to Sony, I hear people saying that Sony's not fazed by this and not scared. They're going to be okay, which I do. I believe Sony's going to be okay no matter what. But what do you think the ramifications of this is going to be for Sony, or if any at all, when it comes to this purchase?
Right now, so far, nothing.
Okay.
So far, I don't think Sony, I'm pretty sure Sony is like, whoa, like, they're just as shocked as the rest of us, but I don't think they're going to change like anything they got planned for, like, as far as their short-term game plan for the next 2 years. Like, I don't think they're going to say, look, we got to go out and get Square Enix right now. Like, I know I made a poll, which turned out to be pretty popular, like over 1,000 people voted on it, but that was just kind of for fun. I don't think they're really going to do that. I don't think Sony is going to make any kind of moves like that. One, their money's different. Like, they're not a poor, corporation by any stretch of the imagination, but they ain't got that kind of money. So that's you're gonna have to move some things around in order to make that kind of purchase. And I don't think they need to, because they're not doing Game Pass.
Yep.
So they don't need to make that kind of purchase. What they will probably do, and what they need to do, is make sure that the quality of their first party content remains what it is. So right. Naughty Dog continues to be Naughty Dog. Sony Santa Monica, Sucker Punch, Guerrilla, Insomniac continue to keep delivering on what they've been doing for the past 3 or 4 years. This last half of this console generation, keep delivering on this content. They'll be fine. What they might do to counter this is start like doubling down on some of these timed exclusives that they've been working on, because these timed exclusives, like, it seems like every other game has got some kind of timed.
They tried to get Starfield until that got nixed by this acquisition.
Right. So it's they are probably going to do what they can to make sure that the PlayStation platform remains attractive. That kind of like the stuff like Marvel's Avengers. Like, you could get Marvel's Avengers on PC, you can get it on Xbox, but can you get Spider-Man? No. So that's why some people decided to get it on a PlayStation 4, considering it was the weaker, when it comes to Xbox One X or PC, the worst performing platform to get it on, but the content brought people there. And so that's what they have to double down on. When you don't have the most powerful console, when you don't have the best service, and you're not willing to do what your competition is doing with Game Pass, you have to kill them with quality. And that's what I think they're going to do. They're going to kill them with quality. Like, they're going to want to make sure that God of War, this new one that's coming out, I don't know if it's an expansion, because it's kind of coming out pretty soon, considering how the other one came out only like 2 years ago. Or, if it's a full-fledged game or not, they got to make sure that game lives up to the Game of the Year quality that the previous game did. And that's what I think they're going to double down on. Like, they're going to really make sure like their studios aren't messing around. We don't want no subpar nonsense out here. Make sure that our exclusives remain better, and we got to also make sure that we continue to keep getting third-party content where we're giving you more from that third party than you're getting from the competition. So, like, I think they're going to do that first before they do it. Now, if they go out and get like a Sega, then like maybe someone starts going, all right, look, enough's enough here.
I mean, but at that point, though,
you're gonna have to start purchasing publishers just to kind of try to protect ourselves. Like,
well, that's the funny thing because
everyone at some point.
Well, that's the funny thing. The Xbox officially has their first Japanese studio in Tango Gameworks that came with Bethesda, so they officially have a Japanese development house now.
More than that, I don't think that's what Phil was talking about when he said he wanted.
No, I don't think that. I'm just saying they finally have one though. I don't think when he was talking about that they were still looking over there to either building one or they were talking about acquiring studios. I don't think this was it. It's just it just happened to come with the purchase that they actually have one, and I think that's going to be really cool. And I think it's just the beginning. You know, supposedly there's rumors that Sega is having something big that's going to be announced during the Xbox showcase for Tokyo Game Show.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows what that is? And I mean, it's easy to just read out and say that, you know, with the thoughts that Satya Nadella came out and said that they're still in the market of purchasing studios. It's easy just to, I mean, at this point, everything is open. When you think, when you see a company spend $7.5 billion on a bunch of developers and a bunch of IPs and buy a whole publishing arm, everything is open. I mean, as much as I say 2K seems to be a pipe dream, that's open. I don't think that would happen. I think that's probably one of the pie in the sky ideas. But what if Xbox did try to acquire something like CD Projekt Red? Is that, if you see this number,
oh, that's definitely on the table now.
It's on the table. Look, nothing's off the table.
What was it? It was like earlier this year when that was being rumored. Everybody was like, nah, that's too much money. Even I was like that. That's too much money.
That's too much money.
Because everything they had purchased prior to that has been smaller acquisitions that wouldn't be like a ton of money. And I think we all estimated that CD Projekt Red would probably cost them about $4 billion. Because you gotta take GOG, their storefront on PC, into account,
which would be a better storefront than they got for Xbox.
Oh, exactly. They could just funnel everything Xbox related into GOG.
GOG.
Like, change the colors from purple to green, and there you go. You got your storefront now, right? CD Projekt Red plus their IP. Well, they don't own those IPs, so maybe that actually would lower the cost. Yeah, because they don't own the Witcher IP. That was another right. Their biggest IPs are from two writers, right?
Yep.
Witcher and Cyberpunk were written by other people who don't work for them. They're not original IP. So, I mean, like, you're basically just buying the manpower in the studios, right? That's a lot of money you don't have to pay for because those IPs aren't theirs. But then the GOG couldn't really, raise that value up. But regardless, when you're willing to spend $7.5 billion for Bethesda,
everything's on the table.
Everything's on the table. Everything is on the table. I mean, like, even Take-Two, I don't think they would.
As gaudy as that sounds, Take-Two is on the table.
I think they overpaid for Bethesda. Me personally,
you think so?
Oh yeah. I think they definitely, like, I don't think that studio, that all of that is $7.5 billion, but I think they wanted to make it a choice that couldn't be refused.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when you're walking around as a $1.5 trillion company, I actually had somebody tell me that $7.5 billion was like 50% of Microsoft's revenue. Of their net worth, and I was like, "Huh?
Of Microsoft?
Of Microsoft?" He said 7.5 billion. That's like half of Microsoft. That can't be right. And I was like, "What?" I was like, "What are you trying to tell me?" He said 7.5 billion. That's literally half of 1.5 trillion. I say, "Oh, poor child." Poor child. So poor child. Listen, really I said that is literally only 7.5% of $1 trillion. It's definitely not 50%. And Microsoft is worth 1.5. So that means Microsoft gave up in cash equity 4% of their company to the purchase of Bethesda. That's
Right.
a lot. When you think about it, that's a lot of money. 4.5
It is a
billion,
lot of money,
4%
but they're
of
going to
the
make all
company.
that. They're going to make all that back.
But think about this
easily.
though. This is the first time that gamers can easily say that Microsoft has made a power move that's about gaming. A true power move. Like they want, like part of the Bungie acquisition back in the day where people would say they acquired Bungie was more of the fact that Microsoft wanted to get into the gaming market. So they found a game, aka Bungie and Halo, that basically propelled them to bring a system out and got them on the map. But Microsoft hasn't really made any major, huge, like draw dropping deals outside of Minecraft. Of course, Minecraft was the first one that they did, but $2 billion for Minecraft, and that was just one single IP, and that thing has paid itself in spades.
IP plus the studio,
plus Mojang Studios,
right.
but $2 billion, like, okay, we see, like, those are crazy numbers, but it's still $2 billion, and that hasn't happened in a long time. The fact that they came out and was like, in the midst of just buying, we don't even know how much they paid for all of these other studios. How much did they give Playground? How much did they give Obsidian? We don't know how much money they spent on those, because it was just this big package deal that they announced all at one time at E3.
Hey, do you think it was more than what Sony paid for Insomniac?
For which ones?
For any of the other individual studios? Because Sony's paid $200
maybe for
million.
Obsidian. Maybe for Obsidian.
Maybe.
I think.
But Obsidian also didn't own a lot of IP. Obsidian did a lot. Like think about all the great games they've made.
Get that super chat slow-mo for me.
Is iDizzy's?
Yeah.
Let me take a look. iDizzy, thank you for the $2 super chat. He says Mikami greater than Kojima. Is Mikami the girl?
I was going to ask, because I'm so out of it on that one. That's why I asked you.
From Tokyo. She's not even working for that studio anymore, though, right?
That's why I said I don't know. That's why I didn't know if you knew or not.
I think that's her. I think he's talking about the one that everyone loves. Like every time she shows up, she's like hilarious and funny. But I think she does. I think she doesn't work for Tango anymore.
Artemis
Mikami's a guy.
Artemis said that Xbox spent $20 billion on LinkedIn.
Resident Evil creator, founder of Tango.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so Evil Within, look, I'm not even a big fan of Kojima, so yeah, I'll take that. I'll say that. Oh, that's cool.
You said I'll say
that. I'm not a big Kojima fan, so I'm cool with that.
That's another question. Does it up until they got purchased, did Insomniac even own any of their IPs? Do they own? They didn't own Resistance. They didn't own Ratchet and Clank.
Sony owned all the IPs that they created.
Insomniac, the only game Insomniac owned was Fuse and Sunset Overdrive. If I remember correctly.
They only had two IPs to bring to the table. $200 million. Now, Obsidian did not own South Park Stick of Truth, of course. Didn't own Fallout New Vegas. Didn't own KOTOR 2 license.
They don't own Outer Worlds because that's private division.
They made Alpha Protocol.
No, do they own Outer Worlds, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Private division actually gave them the funds just to make it.
Right.
Yeah, so they own Outer Worlds. See, that's because Microsoft owns it now.
Yes, I think that's the only IP that they had. Oh, I'm sorry. What am I talking about? Pillars of Eternity.
And Pillars. Shout out to Franco Tech. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Yeah, so two IPs. So I would say probably maybe around the same amount. Playground probably came a little bit cheaper, depending. I know Playground talked about how they wanted to stay independent before they got purchased, so maybe they had to make it a little
make a demand. I think Ninja Theory probably wasn't over 200 million. I think they were well under that.
They were trying to make sure they kept the lights on. So they just
payday.
Not that they probably squeezed them or like lowballed them, but I don't think they were going to be super expensive. Definitely not more expensive than Obsidian was.
I just think that overall, Microsoft made this move for Game Pass. They made it to And then honestly, that was really the only reason this was done. If Game Pass wasn't the focal point, you wouldn't have seen a purchase like this happen. But like Slow-Mo said, we've been talking about this for years. Ever since Game Pass got announced, the only way this is going to be sustainable is if you get the content in there. And as of right now, a lot of these games already been through Game Pass. Pretty much every Bethesda game up to this point has been in there. They have come and gone. I will tell you this, if it's not in there right now, the day that this new system comes out, all of these games will be in Game Pass that day. Every last one of them.
Yeah, yeah.
It's going to be a glorious, glorious sight. iDizzy says Compulsion Games and Ninja Theory had the most to gain out of it. Now that both of them got brand new builders and custom build, yeah, they did. Microsoft did build them brand new studios to do it. But Microsoft, look, this is a completely different Microsoft, and people give Phil Spencer a lot of slack for the way that Xbox has handled a lot of things over the generation, ever since he's taken over. But the one thing I will say is the man has been very consistent in the messaging when it comes to the order of things that he was doing. A lot of people take issue with the games being the last thing that he focused on, myself included. But
I agree with that.
He told us in the beginning, he said he wanted to fix the platform, he wanted to fix the ecosystem, he wanted to fix the services, he wanted to fix the console. And he did all those things. And the last thing he said was fix the games. And we cannot take away the fact that the man went out in 2017 and purchased upwards of seven or eight studios back then. And now he's added another 8, which brings them to a grand total of 23. And they're not done. I think this is something that a lot of people really just need to take to heart and just say, hey, if you don't like Xbox, you just don't like Xbox. I understand that. Some people, I don't understand how you can say you don't like a platform when you just like games. Do I like playing on the PlayStation? No, because I hate the freaking controller. But I love God of War, and that's not going to stop me from playing on the PlayStation. So I'll never hate on PlayStation. The same thing happens when people want to come at Xbox, and it's supposed to be about the games. And a move like this should not be critiqued just because a certain platform holder holds the rights to beloved IPs that you love. Because
also, don't start capping for Bethesda when you was trashing them as early as Sunday, okay? Like, because I've seen some stuff, man. I've seen people pulling receipts on people who are all like, Bethesda's amazing. This is great. This is so great for Xbox. It is great for Xbox. But you, sir, didn't like Bethesda games prior to this. So let's just, some of you guys gotta chill out, because I don't want to see you guys like pulling teeth trying to play Fallout and you hate it, and you hate Fallout, or you hate Elder Scrolls and the terrible, like, I'm sorry, but Elder Scrolls combat has not evolved at all since Morrowind. And it has always looked like a drunk person with a shield and sword swinging it like, wildly at every enemy around him. I'm sorry, like it's garbage. Like, gotta fix that. The engine, absolute garbage, especially in the visual department. I always slander Frostbite. What's up, Dizzy? I always slander Frostbite, but one thing I can say about Frostbite's beautiful. The environment's amazing. The lighting effects, like, that's the better parts of the engine. Bethesda takes 2 L's with their engine because it's ugly, and the logic side of it has a lot of issues. There are people who find bugs in Fallout 76 that have been present in Fallout 3. The same bugs, because they don't fix it. Like, these are the kind of things that, like, people are trying to ignore about Bethesda, but you can't ignore it when the console warring starts and these games come out. And they like, look at this. This is the same issue that happened from Fallout 4. Like, they gotta work on that. They gotta work on that stuff. And I know they keep talking about how I'm actually gonna do a video about this, because I haven't done a video on this acquisition yet, but I was gonna do a little different than other people.
I was looking forward to your video whenever you finally get it out.
Yeah, that's my next video. my video is gonna be talking about the technical side of things as far as what this does. We already know everyone's talking about what this does for games, but I'm just gonna talk about what this does for just all the studios in general, because they can share resources, and they have talked about sharing resources. And Bethesda actually has they've shown over the years, like a couple of E3s where, some people were sleeping through it, but they were talking about some really good kind of technology that they were going to be implementing in their games, and that can be used with, through all of Xbox Game Studios in the future. So that's kind of going to be the focus of my video when it comes out, probably a little bit later this week. But I think that stuff is great, but we gotta be realistic. There's a reason why Bethesda was in the situation they were in before they got acquired.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So shout out to Doc. He says basically Xbox is one studio away from 4 games a year. That's what Slumbo was talking about earlier. We've been talking about that for years, man. If they get enough studios, then that whole promise of a AAA game every quarter can absolutely happen. Racer says, I don't like Xbox, but what Xbox did was great. Sony sort of got lucky that Halo turned out like a shit show. And you know what? That's another part of this. Can you imagine if Halo Infinite was actually a actual game that was coming out this holiday that didn't look like crap? Can you imagine what Xbox would like? The level of excitement around Xbox would just be even more intense than it is right now if Halo was an actual thing that delivered this holiday. Shout out to them for delaying it, because I'm still happy that they did that. But this is the move that everybody was asking for. They were asking, hey, what are we? Even knowing these games are games that are already out, it's the promise of the future. And this is all Xbox gamers needed to know that Xbox was serious, because for the most part, people know Microsoft was going to have games for them at a later date, but they didn't know how serious they are about it. Them spending $7.5 billion on this tells you how serious they are about gaming in this generation. They don't just spend money like that not to take advantage of it. What do you think, Slomo?
I think, yeah. So look, I agree. I think this is all right. Look, so something that I saw in the chat that I kind of wanted to bring up before I get into that, and that was Artemis talking about Asobo. Now, if any studio they're looking at acquiring right now, it needs to be Asobo. You want to lock that down. I look at Asobo as like the budding studio that's kind of coming into their prime, almost kind of like how BioWare was when around the time of original Xbox going into 360, where back then BioWare had was dropping a couple of hits and people were starting to pay attention to them. And Microsoft missed the opportunity of locking that down so that all their big hits stayed on just the Xbox platform. Now, Asobo ain't exclusive to Xbox, but Microsoft Flight Simulator is. And they're doing that. And I heard they got like a 10-year contract with them. That's fine and all. But that doesn't stop them from making another Plague's Tale Innocence 2 or another story that is just as high quality of a story, high quality of a game, and it being multi-plat. Like, you gotta, when you see that kind of talent and you clearly got the money, you clearly are willing to use the money, lock that down. You can't force them to sell, but do what you can to make sure that studio stays where, stays with you, and that they're not, putting their games on other platforms and missing the opportunity of having yet another potentially great exclusive in Game Pass. Now, crap. What were we talking about? Because what was your question again?
Slumbo went into a whole diatribe.
I know, man. My bad.
No, it was where was this question at? Oh, about where, with Halo not being there, what would this conversation be if Halo was actually a thing?
Okay, if Halo was actually a thing, if Halo was ready yes, this would be great. This would be a great launching point for them going to next generation, but it's not.
Right.
So it is like I it'll be great if it was, but we gotta deal with the reality of the fact that it's not, and we just gotta hope that the game will be ready and that Joseph Staten can do what he can to get that turned around, so that this time next year we're talking about how great Halo looks now and that the game's going to be a lot better. But I did a poll about this too, and my poll was, who would you want to be running or developing Halo Infinite now? Because remember, everyone was talking about when Halo first got delayed and all the stuff about 343 Industries came out, everybody was like, damn it, 343 sucks. They're not good. Like they're just not good enough for this franchise. We need someone else. But then you look at, even though they got 15 studios, there's literally really no one else designed to be able to do it any justice.
The funny thing is,
but now,
go ahead.
With Bethesda under your belt, you got a studio. You got two studios. They got
an engine too.
Three studios, like now
they got 3 studios and an engine.
Because Arcane Studios, they do first person, and most of it's stealth. But Deathloop looks like, you see that gunplay in the trailer, that looks pretty nice. But now I'm mostly talking about id Software and Machine Games. Now, much less Machine Games. That's Wolfenstein. People like Wolfenstein. It's now on that level, right?
Right.
But id Software,
it's fun.
id Software could do Halo justice, in my opinion. They absolutely could. Now, could they do a Halo Infinite where it's a game as a service, as an ongoing game? I don't know, because they never did that either. And neither has 343, and things ain't working out well. But what the difference about id Software is that they have a level of quality that is unquestioned. It's above reproach. No one says Doom is a horrible game. No, neither one of the last 2 Dooms that came out have anyone said that. So they have hit a level of quality that 343 has yet to touch. And it seems internally that studio is a lot more organized in their workflow and their production than 343 is. Now, if let's say 3 years from now and everything's going great for Xbox, but that Halo is taking all kinds of crap. It's looking horrible. It's just trash. Like, no one's playing it. They come out with expansions. No one cares because they're buggy messes like everything else that 343 comes out with. Then you're gonna be like, hey, look, Bethesda, can you start a conference call with id real quick? We need to have a talk. Let's have a talk. Let's ask them, because we got this limited integration thing. We don't tell anyone to do anything, but could you maybe possibly please take over Halo? Please, pretty please. We need to open up a second studio for it. We will, just as long as you're running it.
I just think the problem with 343 is, I think it's really, the thing is, as much as I think that studio's very incompetent, it's not that I think the people are incompetent. I just think the management style over at that studio needs to change. And the things that were wrong with this game were the things that they never had a problem with before. And it was the visual fidelity of the games. That's what was the most disappointing to me. And it, like, once you take your fanboy hat off and you look at the game for what it is, it didn't look good. It didn't look like a next-gen game. It didn't look like it was supposed to look. And if that was the direction they were going in, well, make sure ray tracing is in it before you show it, because that had a lot to do with the lighting just being completely off in the game. I just think that they need another direction. I think they are capable of giving us a game that I think everyone will love, because I don't want to say that all of those developers over there just need to go, but they need another philosophy. They need somebody in the room that's not afraid to tell Microsoft what needs to happen. And I think I think Bonnie and them has been enabling the staff that they have for so long to just put out whatever they need to, or deadlines to get missed. That's the problem with 343. I do agree, because when you put that poll up, I actually voted for 343, and I can't stand 343. I voted for him because as much as it would be great to have id Software run and work on Halo, I think 343 can do it. They just need more direction. And guess what? I would like to see
leadership to do that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. In order for Halo, I would like to see it under new leadership before they completely firebomb the company when it comes to the development house. If they're going to just close the development house, I would like to see them try with somebody with a bigger, more prominent voice over there. Daryl Gallagher should have been the one that's running freaking 343. Let's be for real. Because that's the more established studio. I know he's over there working with the initiative and they're doing really big things over there. But you want to have one of your strongest voices working on one of your biggest IPs. And maybe Daryl, that was something he wanted to work on something new, and I get that. But they need somebody like that in the leadership position.
I think they already got their person. Remember when I said a few weeks ago, after the announcement of the Halo Infinite delay, I said that Bonnie Ross had to go. And I said that how I would remove Bonnie Ross isn't to just immediately just walk in her office and say, here's a box, you know what to do. Like, not like that, right?
Here's a box, you know what to do.
But
as a matter of fact, can my secretary help me? No, she's staying.
No, she stays, you go. What I would do is I would hire her replacement. Let he or she know that they are the next head of the studio. But that's mum's the word. That's between you and me.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at how things are running. You're going to be in there trying to make sure Halo Infinite launches in the best way possible. And once it's launched, once we get it out the door, I want to talk with you. You tell me the changes that need to be made. Bonnie is gone. Everyone else that's in higher leadership in 343, you choose who to let go, who doesn't work, who can be molded into working, and it's your show now. I think they already made that choice with Joseph Staten.
Yeah, well, let's hope so. Let's be for real about that. Shout out to Miles Caldwell. He says, with all these acquisitions, the games that they are making can stay in the oven for a little longer as they are needed. And that's one of the things I think a lot of people miss too. The fact that they do have all these studios, they're not forced to bring anything out quick anymore. The fact that they have 23 studios doesn't mean they have to rush anything out. Now, granted, we do want to see games, now other than waiting 4 years to get them. But the thing is, once these games start coming out, there's going to be some satisfaction in saying like, hey, if one game is good, then the next game starts being good. And then Microsoft can start getting that type of, that pass that Sony gets for their games and stuff.
Oh man, yeah, Dr. Sarakas just brought up something that I saw yesterday that was great about Carmack. He wants to come back. Like, he sees this, he's like, hey, look, I like to come back and work on a game. Bring your behind on back and let's do it. Like that's some kind of stuff that, like, like you see changes like this and people see that opportunities might happen, and like Obsidian potentially doing a Fallout New Vegas 2. Like, this is bringing together opportunities that people previously thought just were never going to happen. Like, like now that Obsidian's under Microsoft, there's just no way they're going to be able to do another Fallout New Vegas. Well, now that's possible.
They're all under the same. Dude, this is the first time all of the Fallout developers are under the same roof now.
Yep. The old Interplay minus BioWare. The BioWare guys that aren't even there anymore, honestly. They don't even work there anymore. They work at Archetype Entertainment. They got their own studio now.
Did you, because we get ready to wind it down, but would you have ever thought that there was an opportunity that Microsoft could literally be the best place to play RPGs ever? Did you ever
that's still somewhat subjective because
well, no,
based on pun how because guys we know like Kofi.
Nintendo has
Kofi,
to me.
he loves Japanese RPGs. He made
Well,
dabble in some of the Western ones.
Not JRPG. JRPGs is still pretty much owned by Nintendo and Sony. But when it comes to just Western RPGs,
this is the Xbox is the place to be.
Cyberpunk and like the stuff that goes over on CD Projekt Red, Xbox got all of it.
Right, especially BioWare has taken such a fall in the RPG department. You got Obsidian that makes those good ones. The only ones they don't have under their belt that are high quality RPG makers is Larian Studios that's doing Baldur's Gate, which is their old IP. All these guys that we're talking about, their old IP, Baldur's Gate. They're doing Baldur's Gate 3, and they previously did Divinity Original Sin. Look, that's I think right now, as from a lot in a lot of people's eyes, I haven't finished Divinity, the first one, so I can't really speak to it myself. But I know so many people who love Western RPGs speak so highly of Divinity that's probably like the pinnacle, and it's the reason why they were chosen to do Baldur's Gate 3. That's like the pinnacle. Lately, I know that some people may say, "Well, Witcher," but Witcher's good. Witcher's very, very good. I think the combat kind of holds it back, in my opinion.
That's the only thing that holds it back in my regard. Artemis makes a good point right here. He said he's part of that give fall back to In Exile movement.
How about Fallout? How about In Exile does a spinoff of Fallout that's very similar to the old school Fallout 1 and 2?
Yeah.
And then continue to let Bethesda and their internal, studio keep doing with the more recent iteration of what Fallout is. So you kind of have both, because there's some people who never played the original Interplay Fallouts, and then you do a Fallout 5, and it's nothing like what Fallout 3 and 4 is. People I think you're going to end up like really hurting yourself in the long run. You do a spinoff similar to how New Vegas is, and then it's like, I can see people who weren't there for the original accepting that as like, oh, it's like New Vegas. It's a little different, Yeah.
They call it Fallout to the beginning. There's your name. Yeah. But no, that's the, what, Slow-Mo, honestly, that is the most exciting thing about this, because they have, not only do they have the studios, but now they have a breadth of IP that they can share amongst not only the studios that Bethesda has, but they can share, like I said, the whole thing about Obsidian. They can actually make a Fallout New Vegas 2 if they wanted to, or in a different landscape or something. It's just the fact that they have such flexibility now when it comes to what they can do. And I don't care if these games are exclusive. We never really even tackled that. I think the whole sound clip, not sound clip, but the whole article about Pete Hines, when he was saying that, they're still going to be their own publisher. They're still going to be doing that. And I do think that's going to be the case when it comes to putting games on other platforms. I do believe that you will still see Bethesda on the game when it goes to like something like PlayStation. I don't think they're going to hold all of these games hostage. I do think there might be some exclusivity, time gated stuff where it might be 6 months or something, or maybe a month. Because the thing is, Microsoft is in a place that they just want to get these games as much places as possible. And the fact that they are still honoring all of those deals that Bethesda made and ZeniMax made with Sony when it comes to Ghost Type and Deathloop. I think that lets you know how Phil Spencer truly really feels about this, because yes, if they was to cancel those exclusivity deals, they will take like some type of penalty for doing that. But Microsoft just wrote a check for $7.5 billion. You think they care about canceling whatever deal they had with Sony if they really truly didn't want to have those games just exclusive on their platform? They would do it in a heartbeat. But that just lets you know that this right here just lets you know that Microsoft is moving a lot differently, and they're playing two different games. Sony is still playing the game that we still believe in our platform. We still want people to buy into our ecosystem when it comes to our system. And Microsoft says we want to get to as many people as possible. And if we got to leave these games over there to make more money, that's what they're going to do. And the funny thing is, Sony went out to spend all this money to take these games away from Xbox, and now they're paying Microsoft directly. It's crazy.
Right. Plus, they're probably looking at the money that was already spent in development of the PS5 version. Like, you're just gonna junk all that for what? You know, like, you can make money off of that, off of that launch of that game on those those two games on those platforms in regards to Tokyo, Ghostwire and Deathloop. So yeah, like those games are going to sell very well on PlayStation, especially considering they're going to be first on PlayStation, and you're going to be getting 70% of that revenue. So
yeah,
I mean, yeah, go ahead and let it. You already put the work in.
Yeah, you already.
Yeah, it's close to being finished. Just go ahead and finish it up, and then, as they said in the future, it's going to be on a case by case basis, which is whenever I feel like putting it on your platform. Which I look at that as, and this is just my opinion, but I think that a lot of the content that's like Elder Scrolls Online stuff that's already on there,
yeah,
will remain on there. Those ongoing games, MMOs, stuff like that. Yeah. Fallout 76, that will continue on other platforms, but anything new coming out wouldn't surprise me. I guess it would depend on how far Starfield is and how far Elder Scrolls 6 is.
It's nowhere near coming out. When did they talk about?
But then if they've already like secured the license,
oh well, yeah,
for putting those games on the PlayStation platform, they might just go ahead and do that. Now, if it was me,
I wouldn't.
Those are the ones. See, like the smaller games, I could go ahead. Like we're so far into development that like there's just no purpose in not putting them out there. Fine, in 2021, you got that. We're gonna make the money off of it, but we'll put it on your platform first. Cool. But games that like people haven't even seen any gameplay of, and all we did was do an announcement. We didn't even tell you which platform was coming out on.
And Starfield, all you saw was pretty CGI screens.
Right. So like that could be whatever. And of course, everyone assumed that was going to PlayStation. And behind the scenes, it absolutely was going to PlayStation. Why would it not be, right? Yep. Because they're the biggest platform with the biggest amount of install base. But at this point now, that game ain't coming out to 2023. I'm not putting that on your platform. Putting that on Game Pass at launch. Well, it's going to be on Game Pass at launch day one anyway.
Yeah, but you heard it in the blog. They actually confirmed that one in the blog.
Right. So
all of the games are going to Game Pass, but they said games like Starfield will be in Game Pass day and date.
Right. So like there is the two options. The one option is it comes out on PlayStation 5. It's $70 at launch. Versus you could get that game through Game Pass for $5.
Let me ask you
a $5 subscription, or we just snatch that off that platform, and you don't have to worry, and then we don't give that to the other one. Like that's their thinking, their mindset. We take it off of PlayStation, and the only place to get it is through Game Pass or the Xbox pay whatever, probably $70 as well on Xbox for full price games going into next gen. So pay $70 on Xbox or just get it through Game Pass.
What do you
think that will funnel more people to Game Pass than the option of it still being on PlayStation?
Yeah, I think the one thing I will say, I was watching Porter Rock's podcast yesterday, and he was
shout out to Porter Rock, man.
Yeah, shout out to him for turning heel, literally turning heel.
I don't think he's turning heel. I feel like people are turning heel on him. He's speaking facts.
He is being very objective with the way that he's speaking right now, and the thing is, this is the thing, you never really truly know how a person rolls until you see them get hit in the mouth in everything they were saying. And the one thing that he kept saying is, Sony made me look stupid because I believe in what they were talking about, and they just effing up. And at that point, Microsoft is doing all of these great things. It kind of makes you question exactly what's going on. And the first thing he said was, like, one of the things he talked about was, look, man, anybody that thinks these IPs, just because they were going through hard times, do you think that Sony's going to drop The Last of Us Part 3 or God of War or Spider-Man on the same day that Starfield or Elder Scrolls 6 or Fallout 5, as much as those games have had hard times, they're not going to do that because those are huge games. There's only a few companies that have the balls to release games around those games, and it's only one that I can really think of, and that's Grand Theft Auto, because Grand Theft Auto moves out of the way of everybody moves out of the way of that. Call of Duty is still one of those games, but I don't know anymore now just because of the fact that that game is more based around the Warzone IP, which is free. But outside of that, it's like there's a lot of games that are in this portfolio that nobody wants to release around ever. It's like because they know a lot of the money's going to get sucked up by these games. So Microsoft is in a very in a very good position when it comes to that. The thing is, I was actually thinking is, do you think there's an opportunity for Microsoft to say we're raising the price on one platform, but not on their own, and they basically call it the Xbox tax, where you don't pay for they keep everything at $60 on their platform?
No, they don't do that.
You think so? Yeah, that's what I think. Having it in Game Pass is enough.
Yeah, they're going to go $70. Plus, I don't think that's something that they. I mean, of course, it's like they have a say in it. It's their platform. But I think they don't want to go against all the publishers and developers that see where things are going and see that, because even though that's great for us, that's not great for a developer. That now my games, like that's almost decentivizing them to put their games on your platform, because I can charge people $70 over there on PlayStation, but I can't over here. Now, me personally, I would love them to stay at 60, but
right,
it is what it is, right? So it's just. Like everything's going to 70 on one platform, then it's considering that they're unlike Nintendo, these two platforms are really going head to head with one another directly. They're probably just going to match to keep the publishers and developers happy.
Above water on that. Yeah, man. I think the only other thing I'll just bring up is the fact that when people say Sony has to make some type of move to combat this, I don't think Sony has to do anything as of right now. The question is going to be, once these games start releasing, what's going to happen then? Sony, they have the power of all their studios behind them right now, and trust me, there's a lot of them. They have studios with more than one team. Xbox has more than a lot of studios with more than one team, but the difference is Sony has had time to breed that talent and to have bangers that came out all the time. Microsoft is going to get there. I always told people that Microsoft's going to get there. It's just going to take time to do it. The problem is people have been waiting for so long that the wait is excruciating and people just want it to be over with. I think this hits the reset clock on a lot of people. I think this move gives Xbox a good year to 2 year window, because they're saying they have all of these games and we know what these studios can make. It's not even a question of, are the games going to be good? Now,
there is a question of that.
The whole thing is a whole nother thing.
No, there's gotta be a that's the key to everything.
Yeah, no bugs. If they fix the bugs, we good.
Yeah, like you gotta drop quality. And as far as Bethesda goes, like there's one thing that like you got a lifeline here. Xbox kind of saves you from like a potentially bad situation.
Yes,
that's great, but you were in that situation for a reason. So make sure that going forward, and and maybe this will help them, because now they don't have to worry about potentially that they were pushing games out there that weren't quite ready, or taking chances on, or for example, Wolfenstein Youngbloods, that trying to turn that into like a looter RPG elements kind of thing. That's not what people play Wolfenstein for. What was that? Was that like a directive from Bethesda Publishing? Like, make it like this. We want something like, try to take advantage of that looter, the community, that demographic. But like, you kind of upset the hardcore Wolfenstein fans with that. Maybe that was a move based off of like primarily motivated by finances than actually dropping a quality title.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they won't have to do that anymore. Maybe a game like Fallout 76 doesn't even get announced when it did, and it gets announced a year later when it's ready. Maybe that would be the difference here. But it's also Bethesda. How many times Bethesda came out and said stuff that wasn't true?
That's true.
Like when they said, like when Todd Howard was out there capping on about how beautiful Fallout 76 was supposed to be. And you get the game and like it looks like a 360 game in some areas. The level of textures look like, yo, are you serious? You know what year this is?
Look.
Like
shout out to iDizzy. Don't forget that EA Access is also going to be in Game Pass. That's crazy. That's over 50, 60 games that they're just adding to the portfolio.
That's EA Play. Now it's already in there too, because it's already in there from what I believe. I was on my Xbox doing that review yesterday, and I saw some EA Play stuff in there. Although I already had EA Play, which it used to be. So I don't know if that's technically all in there yet, because I got both services, so it's hard to tell.
Well, they said it was going to be in there this holiday, and anybody that had EA Access or EA Play, they're converting their memberships over to Game Pass. I still have like 7 months left, so move that stuff over so I can just add that onto my Game Pass.
Right. But I just kind of feel like this is like Bethesda has to step it up. Xbox Game Studios has to, like, I've always said this about them. Their big issue is quality control. Right. Like, they got the money, they got the studios now, they got the hardware. What they gotta have is the games. They have the games, and they're good, they're golden. But the game, they have games coming out. You can't say that whole meme of Xbox got no games. That's a damn lie. That's not what the issue is, though. The issue is, what level of quality are the games, and that has to be something they have to work on. There needs to be a give and take. There needs to be a line. Like they got this. They got the studios in. They promised them everything they wanted to hear. But sometimes you gotta be like, Bleeding Edge is a great idea, but
it's crazy.
Let me give you some feedback. These character models gotta go. Look, I know you guys work really hard on this. They're very, very unique, but not everything unique is good. And this is one of those cases. Can we get some like remodeling here with some of these things? Also, this is an arena shooter, and there are other arena shooters out there, and they have really good communities. And if you want to get those players from leaving Overwatch to play this, you might want to speed the combat up.
Absolutely.
You might like, these are kind of feedback things that it shouldn't be me telling Ninja Theory that after they've already launched it in beta. It needs to be the Xbox executives saying that to them before they even reveal the game. That's the kind of feedback they need to give them to make sure that their games are at a level of quality where people stop saying, "Oh, it's another Xbox game they about to show," and start saying, "Oh, they're about to show another new IP." Like, that's the difference. You got to do that, right? Because I mean, look, when it comes to arena shooters, freaking First Watch Games has come out of nowhere with Rogue Company and took everything they wanted Bleeding Edge to have. Took all of it. And why? Because Rogue Company plays better.
It does.
And the people like the character models better. Yep. And yes, it's a big janky.
It is.
But it's fun to play. And that is the key. When the game's not fun to play, and you have a huge number of people playing the game, you can always get into a match, no problem.
You got Dr. Disrespect making maps for you.
You got freaking Dr. Disrespect making maps for you.
Yeah.
He ain't make no map for Bleeding Edge.
It's wild out here, bro.
So like that's the kind of level that they have to take things. And that's where I want to see from them. I'm always going to be looking for that from them. If not, it's going to be, this is great, and you're going to have games going into Game Pass, but you're never going to be able to overtake your competition until you put your foot down on that.
I agree. 100%. Well, bro, this is incredible. it's exhausting. I know we all tired, and it's going to be a hell of a week. Just be prepared to talk about this stuff even more throughout the week. And it's cool to see all you guys out there get these systems, man. I'm very humbled to know that, you know, gaming is a hobby that I like to enjoy. And I know Slow-Mo feels the same way on that. And you guys are all family when it comes to the DPS podcast. So shout out to you guys, because you're the ones that power this show. We hit over 70 people watching, man. So
that's what I'm talking about.
Over 70, man. That's a record for us, man. Truly appreciate you guys a lot. Slow-Mo, you got anything else before we let these people go?
No, let me just plug a couple things. I just dropped a review before we went live. My review of The Suicide of Rachel Foster. It is kind of you could say it's a walking simulator kind of game. It's one of those games that are very short. It's like 3.5 hours long. But it's like a powerful story, like in the vein of like a What Remains of Edith Finch. Check the review out if you like the game. If you like my review and think the game is interesting, hey, check the game out too. I'm also working on my video talking about like the internally what this means as far as the tools that these developers are going to have available coming off of the heels of this Bethesda and Xbox acquisition. That's coming soon, as well as some other games that people aren't really talking about. There are some indie titles that I think people should take a look at and focus on. I got some of that stuff coming out too. So come sub to my channel if you haven't already. Come check it out.
Yeah, please sub to this man's channel. He is literally a hop, skip, jumping away from 1,000. He's putting in that hard work. Definitely deserves as many followers as he could possibly get over there, and sub to that channel. Gregor is saying even bigger news in a few days or so, maybe 2. Trust me. And if the stuff that I've seen from Twitter, and shout out to my homeboy All Day talking about Phil Spencer camping outside of Sega, that would be. And we know they're very friendly with Sega, but people don't realize that Sega is bigger than people think. I mean, that is like home of the JRPG when it comes to Atlas. So look, man, just look out below. We'll put it that way. We don't know what's
there's a lot of people saying that another shoe is going to drop on at the Tokyo Game Show. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see, man. So I don't know, man. Be prepared for that. Like I said, the one thing that was very exciting about this announcement wasn't the fact that it happened. It's the amount of money that was put into it, because trust me, you never believe any of these big developers and publishers can be bought until you see it happen for the amount of money it happened. And everything seems crystal clear now, because Microsoft proved that they're willing to drop an anchor and let it fall wherever it's going to fall when it comes to the amount of money they're willing to spend. So this was a great show, guys. I truly appreciate all of you guys. Shout out to everybody. Like I said, it's got that Xbox. Shout out to Fuzzy, got the blue controller. Shout out to Racer. Shout out to everybody.
I got that controller too. That controller. That's the one thing I purchased.
Fire,
today.
Bro. I pre-ordered that. I did pre-order the controller, even though I don't have the system.
Yeah, but, yeah. Look, I can use it on my PC, so that's exactly what I am going to do.
So we got to fight. Hey, yo, you know what? We got to come up with something for Slow-Mo to have to do in order to have to buy a system. We'll figure that out over the course of. Well, it'll be a DPS podcast.
Yeah, y'all always think y'all could get me to do something. Look, I'm not just going to take bets that I know I'm not going to win. This is why I'm up. I'm in the winning column on bets.
You're not on the winning column right now.
Yes, I am.
What did you win? I know you won one thing, but what are we like even? I believe right now.
Well, I won the bet about the prices and release dates coming out when they did. I won that one. I have already won, even though it hasn't been proven yet, and you already admitted that I already won the bet on.
Yeah, it's not over. I said that's a hold.
Yeah,
that's a hold.
Yeah, that's a hold. But you know, that's a future W right there.
Okay.
So and really, that's all the bets I've made. So really, I'm 2-0.
No, we're even.
How are we even? What bet
Because
did
you lost
win?
because you lost the what's the name bet where you had to go string grounded.
That's 2-1. That's 2-1.
No, you haven't won the second bet yet.
You know
It's not
you
over.
already were going to give me the money for a full price game like months ago because you already.
I don't care what I said. You can't take a W in the second quarter.
Hey, it's 2-1
tied.
as far as
We
I'm
tied right now, sir.
Fuzzy said, "Come back to the division on console, bro. They gotta give me a reason to come back."
Yeah, that's gonna be rough right there, bro.
Hey, I did see. Shout out to Vaccine. Vaccine sent me a message on Twitter not too long ago while we were live and said that he thinks the Summit, which is the new PVE DLC or not DLC but PVE content, a new mode for the Division 2 was fun. I tried it in beta. Maybe they made some changes. I was bored out of my mind. Now, that said, I was playing with randoms and I wasn't playing with people I know. So, maybe it's good. Well, I'll try it out. I might actually stream myself playing it, actually. So I might stream myself playing the Summit soon.
So, shout out to Racer. Slummo is the Scumcats version of Scottie Pippen. All around greatness. Miss Luka E. Jordan.
That's what's up. Shout out to Racer, man.
Shout out to Racer on that one. All right, man. We'll end up. We love you guys that much. We'll end up here talking for another whole hour just about BS, but we got to shut this off at some point. Check me out on Gaming Forte. You're already on the channel. If you like the content, sub to the channel. I'm still working on that Destiny video. The only reason it wasn't out today for the reset for people on Game Pass is because I literally had a root canal last week, and
also you owe me those transitions. I need those transitions.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna send those transitions to you. As soon as we done,
like Forte's videos.
he want to boss up like Forte does in his videos.
Right.
Well, Slomo makes my videos, so
that is true.
That's very true.
So not true.
All right, guys. Follow us all on Twitter, man. We will see you guys on BRAP tomorrow night at 9 p.m. It's going to be fun with Eric Jackson, B Money, and my man Enrique. You guys have a great week. We'll see you guys on the next DPS podcast next week on Slow-Mo Backslash channel. Hopefully, he's over 800 subs by that time.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean,
it would be great.
210 subs to get there, but let's do it.
Don't make it happen, bro. Share that video. Y'all have a good week. Peace.
Peace out.